Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this quick guide showing you how you can complete the Gather Intel mission for the second time and beyond, because it's different than the first time. If you're here and you want to know how to complete the very first one, where you start at the gates, then make sure to check out the eye in the top right of your screen, which will give you a link to the playlist, which also has the very first video in there. Like I said before, the second time you do your heist and beyond that, you will start at the airport and then obviously have to make your way to the communications tower to get to the signal box. Now this is actually significantly easier than the first time. The reason for that is because you essentially spawn right next to a bunch of vehicles. And as you can see on screen, instead of walking there, we're going to be taking a bike. Once you've made it to the bike, it really just comes down to following what I'm doing on screen, really. The route itself is pretty solid and you shouldn't have to worry too much about guards and cameras. However, since there's RNG involved and your guards might be in a different position than for me, and especially those vehicles have really good sight. The guards, however, they shouldn't be too much of a problem. Same thing for the cameras, primarily because you're moving at a somewhat decent speed. Typically they don't tend to spot you unless you're almost standing still. So for that reason, you should just try and go around with the bike and you should be totally fine. Like I said, just follow what I'm doing on screen. And yes, you can even pull off this somewhat ludicrous maneuver of just crossing the street while they're looking at you from the guard tower and just going past this gate. Does it make any sense that there is a loud bike going through a gate while there is a private island in the middle of the night? No. But do we care? No, not at all. Like I said before, the guards will only really hear you if you are going past them really quickly and with a lot of engine noise. But since you're taking the route that I am doing, you should be really fine. And as soon as you're basically on this stretch of road where I am, it's home free. You just make a dash to the communications tower and you're good to go. Once you arrive at the communications tower, your signal box can be in 3 different locations. Ironically enough, it can be in 3 different floors. The one on the ground floor, the one on the first floor, and one on the second floor of the communications tower. It's pretty simple, it's very easy to recognize, so you shouldn't have too much trouble trying to find it. When you're in the signal box itself, it actually is different than the first one, and every time you exit the signal box and try it again, the order and the amount of numbers are different too. So for that reason, all you need to pay attention to are the symbols on the right. And for a very handy little image, I will show you what they exactly mean. As you can see by the image, the 3 lines will always multiply the amount that you link it to by 2. So say for example, I would link the number 1 to that symbol, it would then have a value of 2. For the X symbol, this will make the value go times 10, and the last symbol, which is the square with a line in between it, will be the exact same value. Meaning that if I were to link the number 2 to it, the value would still be 2. The goal of this is pretty simple. What you need to do is some simple maths in order to hit the target. So in this case, in order for me to do so, I would have to link the 6 to the cross, the 2 to the 3 lines, and the 1 to the square with a line in between it in order to hit the target 65. Upon doing so, you will have successfully done the puzzle and the signal box will be able to be accessed. Another example of this I can show off as well, so you have 2 different ideas and 2 different examples of how you should approach this. It really comes down to just doing some simple basic maths, and with knowing what these signals are, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Unless you failed math class because you didn't pay attention to it. But then again, there's a calculator if you need it. After accessing the signal box, obviously you're gonna scope out the compound again, but I'm sure you know how to. If you need some help, by the way, with secondary targets, as well as the entry, escape, and infiltration points, guides for those can be found in the eye in the top right of your screen. After you're done with the signal box, you can make your way back to the airfield, but instead of going there, just try to find yourself a guard and get yourself caught. The reason for that is because you'll simply be teleported back to the airfield, and you could just get into your plane and go home. Yes, it is really that easy. Other than that, that is really all there is to it. Thank you also very much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed or found it useful, subscribe for more, and if you really like what you see, consider becoming a member like all the lovely members on screen. And I'll see you all later.